There seems to be a consensus from the post-game comments and the comments in the room today that you guys played a very simple game yesterday after perhaps not doing so at other times. So I guess that begs the question, how difficult is it to play a simple game over and over again?
Yeah, no, it's very difficult because the players are always wanting to do more, and that's why they got here. That's why they're elite athletes, is because they were always doing more, and but often more complicates things and makes the game a little more difficult. So it's always a balancing act on how much just simplifying your game, and when you try and complicate it, it just gets ugly. Not only it gets ugly for the individual itself, but more importantly, the guys around him, not sure what he's going to be doing, and the game just gets slower. And the game's about simplicity, speed. That's ultimately what the game is about 90% of the time, is just winning your race, winning your battle, making your first pass over and over again. And we're trying to get that as much as possible.
The last couple of days, there was a lot of talk, I guess in the media and fans anyway, about that American Thanksgiving. Most teams that are in then usually are in at the end of the year. Are you a standings watcher? Do you look and say, okay, guys, that's the road we got to cover, or do you keep it much smaller than that?
Much smaller right now. We just started some goal setting. We just put up a sheet up in our dressing room the other day about an 8-game segment and what we need to do, and we look long run. We can't think about what's going to happen, where we're going to be in game 82. We just got to look at where we are right now, and if you look long term, it just looks too daunting. It's too big of a task. You look at it right now and you just think about winning your next game. We can do that. Well, let's get into our next game. We can win that, and hopefully we can put enough stretches that by the end of the year we're looking to a positive aspect that we're going to make the playoffs.
So you look to the starts of the first two games of the road trip and the way the third game finished. Did you kind of see this thing building a little bit, and that's what sort of culminated in Washington, and maybe that's the reason it might be more sustainable this time than previous times when they had good games and then faded?
I don't know. I hope so. I really hope that we've got this solved, but I've been coaching long enough to know that it's not that simple, and you see your team make strides, and you make 2 steps forward and you take 1 backwards, and they're not all going to be great games. I think we were ready to play against Washington, yes. There's going to be other tests, whether we're tests on us where we're tired or we just don't have it, or the opposition's a little bit better, or whatever it is. But we're trying to get more of what we had in that Washington game.
This team's calling card has always been offense and the power play, and sometimes maybe it helped them outscore their mistakes a little bit, or there's fewer mistakes when the puck's in the offensive zone. Is maybe some of the ails that have been facing this team kind of be traced back to the offense and the power play hadn't been going the way it normally does?
Well, absolutely. You've got the scoring leaders last year, 1 and 2, and the way they scored, and the identity is that they can score. But I think this team often gets not enough credit of how well they defended last year. Their goals against was good, and it wasn't like it was all offense last year. So, but I think right now there's obviously a lot of frustration and feeling that every player's got to do more on their part. And usually when a player thinks about how can I do more, I don't think there's many players that think I'm going to do more by blocking more shots. I'm going to break up more. I'm not going to pinch less, or, usually when they're thinking about they're going to be doing more, they're thinking about offense. They're going to score more goals. They're going to make more plays, what they're going to do with the puck. And right now we want the guys to do more defensively, make more plays, get on the defensive side, do those things, and ultimately that's going to make our team better.
Any update on Evander Kane, who was not on the ice today?
Maintenance day, and we expect he'll be playing tomorrow.
Hi, Kris. Just changing the subject, I think what is it, Tuesday, you guys hear Hockey Fights Cancer Day. James Hamlin scored his first goal, which is pretty emotional to begin with. But then obviously he did the tribute to his mother who passed away. I just want to thought, how did that reverberate around the room and seeing a guy like that has battled for so long to get here, score that goal and then the tribute to his mother?
Well, I'm probably not the best person to ask because I came in here later and didn't know the whole story until after the game, or didn't understand how significant that goal was at that moment. So obviously, anytime a player scores his first NHL goal, it's exciting. But it's really heartwarming when you hear the whole story. And I think as a team collectively, the staff, the players, it's inspiring to see Hammy, battle, work hard to get into the NHL and contribute regularly like he has been doing. But then also, that's hard enough as it is, but also the adversity he's had with losing his mother. So, I think a lot of guys have a lot of respect for him.
Kris, real quick, we saw that the drill Mark Stewart got the paint, and can you just explain sort of what that was, I guess, for someone like me watching it?
Yeah, just passing, checking, scoring drill. I think whether you're playing as a young kid, professional hockey, college hockey, whatever, it's good to feel pressure and make plays. And there's a lot of games that you can do that. And, in the NHL, you have to balance on the type of drills you do. And one is how much skating you do, how much are you up and down the ice. Our last practice when we were in Washington, I thought we had a pretty hard practice, and I liked it, but I wish we could do that all the time. But with the way the schedule is, we have to back off and do some other things. And right now, almost most of our practice so far, we've always had some small area game where players are feeling some confrontation, and they have to make some plays. And that one was just, it's a 2v2 with an extra 4 guys on the perimeter available for support, passing, and ultimately all those games come down to is just making plays under pressure.